Well, hello. In this lesson, we are going to be talking about multiple arrays, and that's how do we work with more than one array. Now, the reason we would do this is because we want to store more than one piece of information about a particular piece of data. For example, let's say I was making an app called Belp, which is just Yelp, but worse. All right. And what Yelp does, if you don't know, is that it's like a way to search up restaurants in your area and see users' reviews, and you can rate them yourselves. That's it. It's just searching for restaurants, let's say. So we're going to make something similar to that. And what we're going to do is we have a list of restaurants here that I made. So if you see here in this restaurants list, they have the names of all these restaurants: Mexicocina, Frescas, Chipotle, so on and so forth. So here's where the names are. But if I were to make a Belp app, I would need to have like maybe where the restaurant is, right? People don't want to go to a restaurant in Indiana if they live in New York, so it's probably good to know where the restaurants are located. Also, maybe the price. Some people want to say, okay, I want to go to a budget place, or I want to go to a really fancy place, to go on a date, that kind of thing. And then finally, the type of food is it? Like, what kind of food do these places have? So, if you see here, this is all related data. So, in our restaurants array, you'll see at index 0, Mexicocino is the first thing. At locations, here, Bronx is the first one because Mexicocina is in the Bronx. That's at index 0. Mexicocina is like $2 signs, right? It's not cheap, but it's not the most expensive, so we would give it $2 signs, and it's Mexican food. So everything in index 0 is related to Mexicocina. So now I have 4 pieces of data all stored about this restaurant. Same thing for Frescas, which is in the Bronx. We all know and love it. You get a sliced pizza for $3, so we have our $sign, and we have Italian food here. So now we're holding data, and everything that's in the same index is all related data. All right, so now let's talk about our 3 buttons here. The first one I'm going to do is this button. It just lists all the restaurants there, okay? So what I would do is something like this. I'd say for I equals 0, I is less than restaurants dot length. And just to remind you why we do restaurants dot length, restaurants. You got to spell that right or else your app's not going to work. The reason the length is that I'm saying I want to go through the entire length of this array, which is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So count from 0 to 8. And to I plus plus, go up by 1 each time. Okay? Now, a basic thing we would do is just console log the restaurants, right? And then I'd put over here I. And what that means is go to the array restaurants and go through each thing in the array. So it starts at 0, which is Mexicocina. Then remember, it increments by 1. So go to Frescas, so on and so forth. So if I press play, you see how it lists them all out one by one. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But what I want to do is I actually want to have it pop up on the screen. We've done this before, but let's do it again. I'm going to say let container equal document.query selector. And I'm going to go see where it is. I want to emphasize something because I see a lot of people just copying and pasting. You have to look at the ID in your app. This changes every time. So in this particular app, the ID is called container. All right. It may not be the same in your lab today. It doesn't always have to be that. So this is where I want to put the information in this app. Now I'm going to say container dot inner HTML, and what I'm going to do, the most basic version of this would be to just put restaurants I. So instead of console log it, we'll put them all on the screen. So watch what happens when I press play. All right. Oh, I should say plus equal. And this lists all of them. Now, 2 things. One, I should probably put this in a button, right? Because it just happens off the bat. So I'll say, let's make a button for this. I'll say let all button equal document dot query selector hashtag for the index. The button is called all button. Okay. Come back here. Go like that. Okay. We'll say all button dot add event listener. We're going to listen for a click, and then we'll run the function all restaurants. Why did I pick restaurants? I can't even spell it. Restaurants. Okay, great. And then let's put this in the function. We'll create the function all restaurants. Love that autofills once you do it once at least, so you don't misspell it the second time. And I'm going to put this whole thing inside of that function. So just to tell you, we've referenced the button. We say when we click the button, we're going to run the function all restaurants. And now we'll see here, this for loop is inside of our function all restaurants. Should only do it when I press the play button, when I press the all restaurants button. Let's try it out. You see that it's there. Now this looks ugly, right? Because they're all right next to each other. So maybe the better way to do it is to put it inside of a p tag, like this. Okay, like that. Okay, let's press play. I press all restaurants. Oh, I forgot to do this, obviously. And I press play, and if I press all restaurants, we get the names here. Now this is cool, but what I could do is actually make something a little bit more complex here, because this is good, but let's say I wanted to display all the information about the restaurant, not just the name. Let's say I wanted to put the whole profile, Mexicocina, Bronx, money, and Mexican. What I could do here is this. Let's put this all inside a div, okay? So I'm gonna make a div, okay? I'm gonna be a little fancy here. I'm gonna give it a class. And I'm going to call it item, okay? And then I'm going to copy and paste this for each one of the arrays. So check it out. I'm going to do this, 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 and this. So I'm going to actually print out in a p tag something from each of these. So what I could do is also the location. So remember, at location 0, the name of the restaurant, the location, the price, and the type are all related. So check this out. If I press play now, take a look. All restaurants. Oh, price is not defined. Prices, locations, types. If I press all restaurants, types. Jesus, Siegel, get it together. You'll see that now Mexicocina, Bronx, and Mexican are all together. Fresca's, Bronx, one to Italian are all together. Now, it looks a little weird in this list format, so maybe we could put a border around our class of item, just so things separate out a little bit, right? So I'd say this, anything with the class of item, we could say border, 1 pixel, solid black. Maybe we give it a background, like light blue. Is that a thing? Let's try it. Okay, so let's see how this looks now. All restaurants, and you can see here, well, it's a little bit big. Let's give it some margin too. Let's get fancy with this, right? Here we go, and I'll say width, 300 pixels. Okay, let's see how this looks now. Press play. And now I have my things put in my little boxes, right? Looks good. You know, this needs a little padding too. That padding, 25 pixels, right? That's nice. That's reasonable. Okay, let's give that a shot. And now, look, I have my little cards. Mexicocina, Bronx, $signs Mexican. Fresca's is also in the Bronx. It's $1 Italian. You see how all of these get printed out in these nice little boxes. So, see how I did that? All I had to do was make a little div, right? Remember, that's just a box. And I put each of the arrays into that box with p tags. So that's nice and pretty, right? We love that. All right, now that we know how to print out multiple pieces of information, let's search the location. All right, so what I want to do is actually make this input up here. I'm going to press play again. Searchable. So now I could search for it, and I can get it'll only print out all the information from the certain ones. So when I search location here, let's check this out. I'm going to make this button clickable for search location. So I'm going to be very lazy. Don't be mad. I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to look at the index. The index is location button. Okay, location button. We'll add an event listener. Oh, we got to call this the location button too. I'm going to say location button dot add event listener. We're going to listen for a click, right? And then we'll do location search. And what this button is going to do is it's only going to print out the restaurants that have the location of whatever someone types in here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, once again, I'm going to write a for loop. Oh, sorry, I should get the value. Well, yes, I'm going to get the value of the input. So I'll say let input value equal document query selector. Let's get the value of that input. The value we need, that input has an ID of search. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say hashtag search dot value. So now that I got the value, this will come in nicely soon. And now we can search for this value. So check it out. So for location search, so we'll make a function called location search. Okay. Now I will grab this, actually put this over here. All right, now that we got the value, we'll iterate through the array again. Actually, I'm going to be super lazy. I'm going to just grab this again. Actually, let's type it out. It's good practice, right? So for I is equal to 0, I is less than restaurants dot length I plus plus. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, as we iterate, we're going to check the value of the restaurants. Actually, I guess we're doing locations here, so we should say locations.length. That would make more sense, right? We're going to check the value of the location and see if it's the same as the input value. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to say if input value is equal to locations I, so if whatever the user inputs is the same as the thing that's in the array, then we will actually print out a thing. So what I'm going to do is grab this code, right? I'm going to grab my container, right? Let's put that here. And then we'll add the information about, container.innerHTML, and then I will print out all the stuff about the restaurant. All right. So once again, let's just go through this so we're making sure we understand it. We're going through everything in the array, okay? If whatever the user inputs is the same as that item in the array, then and only then will we print something, add something to the container over there. Okay, let's give it a shot. So I'm going to press play. I'm going to put here Bronx, right? That's one of the locations. And what we should see is only Mexicocina Frescas and the last one, Great Wall. All right, we'll say search location. We can say Mexicocina Frescas, and let's get this out of here. You can see Great Wall. See? So that's checking to see if it's the same as the user. That's kind of like how you make search here, right? We're searching through the locations array, and we're making sure that it's the same as what the user put in, and then we're printing it out then. All right, let's just do this one more time. It's pretty much the same from here, but I'm going to search by price, and I'm going to structure it a little bit different this time. So what I'm going to say is this. So let's do the search price. I'm just going to search something by price, by how many $signs, and I'm going to just print out something a little bit different this time. So I'm going to say let price button equal document.query selector hashtag. Let's go to index.html. It's the price button. Okay. Let's go back down here. Okay. Let's add an event listener. So price button.add event listener. I'm going to listen for a click, and then I'll do a price search. That's the name of my function. Let's create the function price search, right? And then here we will search for the price. Now, once again, a lot of this is the same. So I'm going to get the input value. Okay. Now, once again, input value is equal to document.query selector, hashtag search. Remember, that is particular to this example, right? In this one, the ID search might be different in something else that you do. And I'm going to get the value out of it, right? Then I'm going to iterate over the array. So I'm going to put this here. Oh. Okay. So this is my array. And what I'm going to say is if, and this one's we should do price.length, right? Because we're looking through the prices. So if prices I, so that item in the price, is equal to the input value, right? And then we will put something on the screen. Now, here I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm still going to do the container. This is still relevant, so I'm going to grab this and put it over here, right? I'm still looking at the container. But what I'm going to say is container.innerHTML equals, and here I'm going to do something a little different by doing this. I'm going to say make a p tag, okay? I'm going to make like a sentence here. I'm going to say restaurants I, so the name of the restaurant, has a rating of, and then we'll put here price I. So I'm making a sentence here for price. So check this out. So what I'm doing is making a sentence here that says the name of the restaurant has a rating of, and this will tell them how many $signs it has for the price. Let's try this one out now. Let's search everything with $signs, or actually 3, because there's only one with $signs. If you look here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth element. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sal Seafood. Seafood always a little expensive. Oh, and the Mermaid Inn. Yeah, seafood's a little expensive. So let's try it out. Search by price. Oh, we got to press play. 1, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's embarrassing. Let's check the console. It says price is not defined. Okay, I can find my price here. Oh, price is. Come on, Seagull. Amateur move. We all make mistakes, though. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let's search by price. Mermaid Inn has a rating of. Oh, I forgot to put plus equals here. That's why you only see one. We want to see all of them. All right, 1, 2, 3. Search price. Sal's Seafood has a rating of 3 for price. Mermaid Inn has a rating for price. So it worked. Let's see what happens if I do this again. Let's do 1. Okay. Search price. Fresca's, Jack's Burgers, and Great Wall. All right. Let's say we did 2. Search price. All right. It's all working. All right, guys. So that's how you could do this. There's a lot of fun things you could do once you have more information about a certain item. And now we're really working with some arrays. All right. That's it for this video.